Greetings guys, gals, non-binary pals, and welcome back to another video. Recently, I have been incredibly preoccupied with planning, filming, and editing my Doormat Mum book deep dive mini-series. So if you haven't been watching those, please do go check that out. I'd really appreciate it. But anyway, my point being that I have not had a ton of time to plan other videos, but you know, bills must be paid, so I still have to film other videos. So in order to make that possible, I have given Kat, my best friend slash ex-flatmate slash editor slash captioner, the job of finding me some things to talk about and react to. And today she has found a bunch of TikToks that are all seemingly about ex-leftists. And I haven't talked about this for a while now. So, you know, time to sit down and have a little bit of a dive back into some of the absolute bullshit these guys say. So I have not watched any of these videos before. I have no idea what they say. I don't really think I want to know what they say, but we're gonna find out together and we're gonna have a chat about it and maybe end up ramming our heads into some walls together. If you enjoy this video, please do not forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I really do appreciate it. If you are enjoying this content where Kat finds me stuff to look at, let me know because I have a good time doing it, as stressful as it may be to sit on camera and raw react to things. Anyway, let's get into it.
If you Trumpers want to come at me with some bullshit, I will dominate you. Hello, everybody. Well, that was embarrassing, but you asked. So this is the kind of behavior that I'm talking about. This irrational, angry behavior. This is what was going on with me. I was keeping in a ton of anger just because I was told to be angry at MAGA. So let's go ahead and watch another one of me having an annoying crash out. This is a really irrational fear. So Donald Trump wants to a couple places in Iran. Not like that would start a or anything. You know why I made that TikTok? Because I saw other people on TikTok saying that, and then I looked it up and I was like, oh my god, this is such a bad thing. But I looked it up on ChatGPT, which is really left-leaning.
Sorry, I know this isn't even the point of the video, but every time I fucking hear I looked it up on ChatGPT, go away. I also am obsessed with, I looked it up on ChatGPT, which is really left-leaning. I don't think that's true. I don't know. I guess I don't really know. But as far as I'm aware, ChatGPT is just like taking information from everywhere and catering it to you. So maybe your ChatGPT was left-leaning because you were a leftist. So everything you were asking from it was like to validate your political beliefs at that time, so then it's going to give you biased stuff. But that's like the whole problem with ChatGPT, is that it's biased. It's giving you biased results because it knows you and it's giving you information that it thinks you want. So I don't think ChatGPT is leftist. I think you made it so it gave you what it thought you wanted to hear. That's literally the whole problem with ChatGPT. That's the whole problem with ChatGPT. I'm glad, I guess, that it got you to go do a proper search, but you should have been doing that in the first place. ChatGPT is not a search engine. That's like literally not even the point. It just pisses me off. It just pisses me off. Do research. Don't just fucking ask ChatGPT shit. Anyway, back to the actual point.
As you can see, I was unwell. No part of that was true. None of that is okay. That was a bad behavior of mine, and I'm really sorry that I ever acted that way.
I don't know if she's gonna go explain to it, but she hasn't actually, I'm sorry, she's not actually given any reason as to what's wrong, like what changed. She's like, Trump said he was gonna bomb Iran and that I thought that was bad, and ChatGPT told me it was bad, but that was bad of me. I shouldn't have said that was bad. Can you tell me why you think it's good? Why do you think it's good to be dropping bombs? I'm confused. I don't understand how you took the dropping bombs is bad and came away with being like, that's a leftist belief, and I was brainwashed into thinking that dropping bombs is bad. Dropping bombs is good? How did we come to that conclusion? You didn't explain. Am I gonna hit play and she's about to explain why she came to that conclusion? I don't think there's any justifiable reason for you to at all think that bombing is good.
I feel like I owe you guys an apology because that's not at all who you are. And I've said this before, like, I've made friends with you guys and I'm learning a lot from you guys, and I'm just so sorry that those words ever came out of my mouth. Honestly, it's embarrassing.
I am so sorry that I said bombing Iran was bad. I'm so sorry. Those words will never come out of my mouth again. I will never apologize for like being sad about millions of people dying ever again. I'm so sorry I ever said that.
That was the headspace that I was in, was just like, I'm afraid of everything. I need to be mean to everybody. When you're living like that, it really starts fucking with you. But I'm really happy that I am out of that, and I'm happy that I don't behave that way anymore, because like I said, that has not been me. And when I say that was not me, that was not me with this recent behavior. Being on the left wasn't always like this. Like, people didn't always behave this way, at least from what I saw, and I definitely didn't always behave this way. I did hold like this weird resentment towards people who are Republicans, but I never like behaved in that kind of way. I wasn't being hateful and crazy. It was more recent, within like the past year, especially after Donald Trump got elected, that all of a sudden I was like losing my mind. So those were my crash out videos. I'm very sorry. Love you guys, and as always, have a great day.
She didn't even explain. I don't. Also, girl, no one was holding you at gunpoint and saying you had to stop being mean. Being on the left didn't always look that way. It didn't always have to be that way. It didn't used to be just about being mean and going off and yelling at people. You decided to do that. No one made you do that. You did that. You made that choice. You did that yourself. You didn't have to do that. Although, like, I'm obsessed with being like, I've learned so much from you guys. ChatGPT is biased towards being left because you were asking it to give you leftist opinions, but all of your conservative followers, where you are now getting your information, they're not biased at all, obviously. They're all reliable sources. Just the TikTok comments. Super reliable. We live in hell. No! Oh my god, I'm still confused as to how she got here, and she didn't explain to me why she thinks that dropping bombs is not bad. And I would like her to tell me, because I can't think of any justifiable reason. I've seen people try to justify it, but none of it makes any fucking sense. Dropping bombs is bad. Not good. Don't fucking do that.
What's up, Buttercup? I'm assuming it's your first time running across me, so let me give you the rundown. So I used to be pro-choice, anti-military, anti-police. I was pro-gun reform. I was anti-capitalism, pro-socialism. Thought it sounded like a great idea. I wanted a universal basic income. I wanted, more social safety nets, more government regulation when it came to a lot of that type of stuff. Wanted free healthcare, free public education all the way up through university. I was like teetering on like wanting just open borders, let everyone come, don't bet anyone, it's fine. And this next part is going to be quite shocking for some of you, but I was a big supporter of gender ideology.
She sent this video where she goes off about all of that stuff she used to believe in, but Kat sent it side by side with another video of her that was me in 2022. Trans women aren't women, they are trans women, and that's okay. Please don't hate me for saying that. Me in 2025, trans women are men, get the fuck out of my bathroom. Which, yeah, so just lying. Just lying about being a leftist and believing in gender ideology. I love trans women aren't women, they're trans women. What? Trans women are women. That doesn't even make sense. Trans women are women, just period. That period. Trans women are trans women, yes, but they're also, I don't quite get what. Okay, so I love just straight up fucking lying about being a leftist, just to, try to make your point of being like, can you even believe it? Can you even believe just all of the shit that I used to believe in? Like, you wouldn't even know. I was so far gone. Firstly, I didn't see an issue with any of the things you just listed. And again, I guess that it is just like one video and maybe her account provides more context, but like, why are none of these people telling me why they stopped believing in that? You're like, I used to believe in free healthcare. Can you fucking believe it? That was so ridiculous. What was wrong with me? Why did I believe in free healthcare? Why did I believe in people being able to live wherever they want without fear? Like, that's ridiculous of me. I believed in people existing and being like safe. I believed in people being themselves. Can you believe how embarrassing that is? Girl, what changed? What do you believe in now? How do you believe in something that is like pro, like just happiness and joy and like being comfortable and able to live, to like being against that? Like, what changed? What do you now believe? How are you just sitting here being like, lol, it's ridiculous how I used to think people wanted to be happy and that was cool. I don't understand. Okay.
I used to be liberal and am now conservative. And here are things I've learned from being on both sides. Liberals will be some of the most loving, encouraging people you will ever meet, specifically the LGBTQ community, until you disagree with them. And then it becomes incredibly cult-like. Conservatives are incredibly willing to talk to people that they disagree with.
I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true. No, I think that here's the thing is that like these people often choose like the two more extreme ends of the spectrum. Well, no, she's choosing the more like, you know, extreme, like people more like her and how she was a leftist, in which, you know, is not actually fully educated, so doesn't want to talk to conservatives and have a conversation to like educate them or like actually provide context. And she's talking about conservatives being like, conservatives are willing to talk to people, but she's talking about more moderate conservatives who aren't just sitting there and like yelling. You see it all the time in like debate channels and stuff. Like, we can sit here and talk about the ethics of those and the problems with it, but you look at like, you know, Jubilee videos or like Dean Withers, is that his last name? And like you look at the way that like, you know, he's willing to have these conversations and have these debates and these talks, and these conservatives are just there to like yell. And you look at so many of these instances, but then you also have it on the flip side where you have like people like, no, you actually don't have it so much on the flip side. You have people like Ben Shapiro come in and sit down to talk about conservative politics, and the leftists are there to like actually have a conversation with him and talk about it. They don't just stand there and yell at him, where the conservatives do. So actually, I retract my statement. Conservatives are not willing to have conversations and learn. They're willing to have conversations and sit there and hold their ground and just be like, no, I don't like what you're saying. No. They might talk, but they're not going to listen, right? And at least when like leftists, at least in the examples I see, are willing to like talk, although they're not so willing to like change their perspective, they are willing to mold their conversation around the argument that is being given to them. So anyway.
A huge thing when I was a liberal was I made all of my problems my whole personality trait and had such a negative outlook on the world. When I was a liberal, I made all of my issues my whole personality. Yeah, if you think that women's rights are at stake and that the whole world is going to blow up in 5 minutes, things are going to be pretty depressing. When I was a liberal and all the people around me were liberals, almost every single person was heavily medicated. Conservatives have a huge issue with trust in the government. We don't trust the government at all, but to a point of fault sometimes. Like, I'll agree with that. I definitely distrust the government way too much. I really believe that most liberals that want to allow illegal immigrants into our country just want those people to have a better life. Because I used to think that too. What they don't realize is so many of those people are coming into our country and they're sex trafficking, dealing drugs, committing horrific crimes, and killing our own citizens.
I need to pause for a second. Firstly, yeah, the first point, what you're talking about, it's called ignorance is bliss. Pretending that things aren't an issue doesn't make them go away. Right? Like, yes, I am like depressed and angry because I'm acknowledging the state of the world, because I have empathy that I'm choosing to use, right? I could shut that off and ignore it. I could sit here and be like, women's rights aren't an issue. And then maybe I'd be happier just accepting my place in the world. But it doesn't change anything. It doesn't change the fact that it's still a problem. I'm just choosing to ignore it, right? Like, ignorance is bliss. Fact. That is true. As for this point about immigrants, this always gets me. And I don't know if it's like, again, just willful ignorance or what, but like so many of these people talking about immigrants being like, what people don't realize is that so many immigrants come into our country to sex traffic. No. Most of the sex trafficking taking place is immigrants, yes, but it is like people in the US taking like foreign people from like Mexico and trafficking them up into the US. It's not taking human traffickers across, it is taking trafficked people across. There are so many people who are trafficked at the border, sure, but they're not the ones doing the trafficking. They're the ones being trafficked. There are so many workers who are being exploited, like not just like sex trafficking, but like labor trafficking. There are so many like mega rich people who are exploiting workers by trafficking people from like Mexico. Yeah, they are doing the trafficking. They're not coming in and trafficking American citizens. That's not what's happening. Like, most of the people who are being trafficked are not American citizens. They are people who are being taken from their own countries and they are being trafficked. Like, yes, there is an issue that needs to be sorted and something needs to be done about that, but the people who are doing it are the like conservative people with power and money, and so that's obviously not the issue that they are going to be focusing on, because they are the ones who are benefiting from the trafficking that is taking place, and they're not going to point out that that is an issue. They have money, they have workarounds, they can do whatever the fuck they want, right? Like, but most of the people coming into the country are not criminals. Most of the criminals are already in your fucking country. The human traffickers are already in your fucking country. What are you gonna do about them? You're gonna kick them out? Because I don't see you fucking talking about them. I don't see you talking about all of the people who are exploiting migrants in your own country. I don't see you talking about all the people who are exploiting the immigrants in your country and taking advantage of the people who like do not have much. I don't see you talking about the problem with them being taken advantage of. I see you talking about a small number of people who come across and who are criminals. But you have so many more criminals who are American born and raised. Maybe you should focus on doing something about that.
Liberals don't actually want diversity and inclusion. They want to promote Black people, gay people, and anyone that fits into the minority narrative.
Liberals don't want diversity. They want to promote Black people and gay people and everyone who fits into the narrative. What does that even mean? What does that mean? Truly, that is diversity, is that we want to see more people of color and more people that are queer in like places we don't typically see them. I don't understand. Seeing a diverse range of people is wanting diversity. Did you know that only 60% of the US is white? 60%. 40% of your country is not white. Based on the representation that you see from the US, you would not guess that 40% of the country isn't white. You wouldn't guess that, because you put so many white people forwards ahead of everyone else. You do not show that diversity in so many places. You look at all the like people with power and like wealth, and like there is way more than 60% of them are white. So yeah, we do promote having more diversity and people of color having more roles and positions and like being more visible, because they make up a very large amount of your population that is not seen. I don't understand what you're talking about.
Somebody asked me what my issue with leftists are and like why I'm always attacking leftists. I'm not. I attack behaviors that I think are predominantly on that side of things. So like the question was a false premise, I guess, but I will tell you why I left the left, why I walked away from the left, why I'm no longer on the left. It was a culmination of reasons, but I could cite one specific reason as like I really don't like it over here. There is somebody that I knew that I was friends with, right, who tried to cancel me because I bought an iPad. An iPad that I used both for note-taking, I use it now daily reading, I use it for a plethora of things. My last iPad was from like 2014. Like, I use my stuff for a very long time. I'm not wasteful. I'm mindful with how I use my tech. But still, this person decided to cancel me for buying an iPad. She's active in like different spaces on Twitter, but she has a rather large following, and a lot of people do blindly listen to her. Again, like I said, I was friends with this person. I made the mistake of talking about, oh, like I'm getting this iPad, I'm excited, on Twitter, to which she was in my comments being like, I hope that's refurbished. It wasn't, but I just went ahead and I liked her post because I didn't want to deal with her. I knew what she was doing. I've seen her do it to other people.
What a long, fun story time that was. It's so funny citing one experience with one person as your reason to leave the left. And I love himself at the end being like, I know before you say that it was just one girl and I shouldn't base this off of one girl, like, thank you for saying that, because you knew everyone was going to come for you for that.
Wish you the best. Like, before anybody comes in my comments being like, oh my God, like, you can't say that all leftists are like that. The reason that I'm using this as an example, and the reason that this was really an eye-opener for me is because I do feel that that is indicative of a large enough amount of people on the left that the left does not either A, acknowledge or want to admit exist.
I do think that you provided 6 minutes of this story time where you repeated yourself a lot without ever giving a single other example of this ever taking place in a way that impacted you. Blaming your reason for leaving the left on one person and how this went down is, despite saying like, you know, it's enough people for it to be an issue. Like, you haven't provided any other stories in which you have seen this take place other than this one woman. And this woman, you say, has done this before. She does it all the time, and yet you are friends with her, yet you do follow her on Twitter. So like, you don't mind when she does this when it's other people. You only have an issue when it is you who is being called out. If this is regular behavior for her and you know this is how she reacts to things like this, why did you engage with her in the first place? If this is the side of like leftism that you don't like, why are you hanging out in that area of the internet? Like, you put yourself in this position. You like put yourself in this area. You didn't have to be there. You didn't have to like, you know, sit in this part of the internet and this like political space. You put yourself in the path of the people that you put yourself in the path of. Like, I don't know what you expected. And then you sit here and you like go on a 6-minute fucking rant of saying not very much, to be honest. And like, it really is not a massive thing. Saying that you are the center of this massive online hate campaign, I feel like it probably was not that big. It was probably something that was like relatively minor, and sure, maybe you were frustrated by it. Maybe this was something that you were like, she's being hypocritical. But I don't think it should be enough for you to change your entire political stance just because someone turned on you in a way you supported when she did it to other people, right? I also always find it such a red flag when people voice note instead of text.
Knowing that I'm a good person, you know, or like I'm good at telling a side of a story, like I'm good at telling my story. This was back when Twitter had voice notes. I just told my story on voice notes, and then I posted the screenshots of all our messages, and it made her look honestly really stupid, because you could very clearly see that one person is at a 10 for no reason, and another person is literally just being like, hey, I don't want to be friends with you anymore.
In situations like this, specifically when he was going to post the screenshots on Twitter, because I love being like, I sent the voice notes of all of my thoughts and then I took the screenshots to post on Twitter. So you knew you were going to screenshot the conversation and post it for people to see, but you didn't want them to see your final thoughts. You didn't want them to see what else you had to say. So you carefully sent voice notes so that no one would have evidence of what it is that you said and what else you might have done that was harmful, right? What did you have to hide? Why did you do it in voice notes? I'm not saying that sending voice notes inherently means you're saying bad things. I know a lot of people love voice notes. I love a good voice note every now and then, but this feels very deliberate of being like, we had this conversation, I sent voice notes so that no one could screenshot them, and then I posted screenshots. Like, that's a red flag to me. I'm sorry. That's a fucking red flag. If you are going to post the conversation, you have to be open about everything that you said as well. Like, how did this end? What did you say? What do you not want people to see on your side? Just really would like to know that. But it's wild for this to be like the reason you like leave the left in general. I find it fascinating to be like, someone yelled at me and so now I changed my entire like worldview. My politics changed because I had a bad experience online. That doesn't make fucking sense. You can't believe in things if you are so easily wavered. If someone yelled at me and it made me change my entire political view, like, I didn't have any to begin with, right? The only thing that would make me change my political views is if someone sat down and gave me a very in-depth, like, answers to questions that I may not have questioned myself, like gave me more information that I was missing. And like, my political views have changed over time. I've moved more and more left as time goes on, as I learn more, as I've gotten older, as I've educated myself more. Like, there are things I've changed my perspective on, but they've always been going continuously like more left. And as I learn more and more about things and get a deeper understanding of things, like, yeah, my perspective does shift. That does happen, but it's not going to happen because someone fucking yells at me, right? Especially not like in a way where I'm going to snap in completely the opposite direction. It'll just cause me to reflect on like, you know, something. Like if someone was telling me about the lithium batteries and whatever, I would then make an effort to like think about it and learn more about it and like do something about it and say that I do care about it, right? You could explain yourself and say, you know, like, you know, you were going to get it and use it for a long time and you understand the issues, blah, 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 etc., etc. And I don't think that necessarily makes it like a good thing. I think if you can buy refurbished, you should buy refurbished for a whole bunch of reasons. And I think she's allowed to be upset with you. But like, if you're gonna do it and then just own it, right? Like, like you said, you own it, but then you felt the need to like expose her and take it all out. But you knew this is what she was like, and yet you were friends with her anyway. It doesn't make any fucking sense. It doesn't make any fucking sense. This is the last one that she sent. So let's see how it goes.
I noticed that there's a lot of videos going around with people saying that they are leaving the left in light of recent events. And so I figure I just kind of share also my story of how I left the left. Believe it or not, I used to be a lefty. Well, more of a liberal, though. During the pandemic, everything got shut down. All the lockdown happened. I lost my job and just trying to fucking make it through this. So at that time, I was, you know, following the news very closely than I usually do. And then Trump came out during that election year and said that there might be a vaccine available before the end of the year. And I was pretty, you know, excited about that because I'm like, yo, like if we get this vaccine, we might be able to go back to normal, you know, all that stuff. And then all the news channels and even some of the people that I knew in real life, some of my friends were all saying like, oh, this can't not be true because like vaccines can't just like happen this fast. Like they can't just make a vaccine this fast. Like he's just using that as a way to get re-election, so he's lying and blah blah blah. After he loses the election and then Biden wins, and then right after Biden wins, Pfizer came out and said that we have vaccines available, and the tune changed completely. And all of a sudden, all these news outlets like CNN and MSNBC are saying like, oh, this is such great news. Everybody should take the vaccine. We need to achieve herd immunity. If you don't take the vaccine, you're endangering everybody. And they just try to force that thing on everyone. A lot of the stuff that they say is a complete bullshit. And then, of course, you know, like the whole BLM riots and all that stuff. People just calling anybody that even remotely questions anything, are like people racist and all that stuff. And just like that's not the America that I grew up with, right? Like I like, where did that came from all of a sudden, right?
I don't remember that happening. And I know I'm not American, but COVID was when I started following American politics a little bit more closely, right? I think we all kind of did a little bit. It's when I started doing this, it's when I started paying more attention to global politics. And as far as I remember, I don't recall Trump ever saying that he was going to find vaccines before the end of the year and everyone being like, no, you can't do that, it won't work, you can't test them. And then when Biden said it, everyone was like, yeah, go get vaccinated, everyone should. I don't remember that taking place. Do you remember Trump saying something about injecting bleach or sitting in the light for too long or something? I don't remember exactly what it was, but as far as I'm aware, Trump has never been super pro-vaccine. So like if he said something pro-vaccine in 2020 before the elections, he changed his tune up to get the more conservative vote when it suited him, which I think more speaks to the inflexibility of Republicans, right? And I know he said that he's not a Republican, but it seems like a bit of a double standard to be saying that leftists and liberals are all like flip-flopping all over the place and like believing only what they want to believe and changing their minds all the time based on the political parties, when like Trump as a person has constantly changed his tune to do whatever it is to get votes. Like in 2016, he said that trans women are women and they should use whatever bathrooms they feel comfortable with. There he is on camera in an interview in 2016 saying that.
People go, they use the bathroom that they feel is appropriate. There has been so little trouble.
So if Caitlyn Jenner were to walk into Trump Tower and want to use the bathroom, you would be fine with her using any bathroom she chooses?
That is correct.
Look at what he's fucking saying now, because that's what's going to get him votes now, because everyone's decided they fucking hate trans people. So like if he said in 2020 like he was going to get a vaccine going, he said it to get votes, then he realized that, oh, conservatives don't actually like the idea of a vaccine, so I'm going to fucking change my tune and say that the vaccines are bad and we don't all need the vaccine. You know what I mean? Like it's about changing up and like just making shit up to get you the votes and saying whatever is going to work best for you. And like none of these people have provided any sources or like anywhere where they're getting all this information from. It's just such a fascinating thing to like, I mean, maybe we're all remembering the narrative a little bit differently, but like I just don't remember it happening like this. I don't recall it happening like that. And like being like moving away from the left and liberals because we wanted people to get vaccinated and like, what happened to my body, my choice? Like, bro, just like listen. Just like listen. The reason everyone wanted the vaccine was because not everybody has the choice, right? We should not still have to be explaining vaccine science and why it's necessary for people to get vaccines. Like, I'm so fucking tired of doing this. We shouldn't have to do that, right? The reason everyone has to get vaccinated is because there are some people who don't have the choice to get vaccinated, but they have like immune disorders, which means that they are vulnerable to it. So if you aren't vaccinated and you get COVID, you give it to someone who is unable to get vaccinated and they could fucking die, right? You are putting other people in danger. It is my body, my choice, but those people don't have a choice to keep themselves safe. So you have to take it upon yourself to do what you can to keep those who are vulnerable safe. That's literally the whole point. And again, changing your political views around, like, it's fascinating because like this is a whole thing with so many of them, right? They change their political views not because of what they believe in, but because of the people around them. And I find that so interesting when people do stuff like that. It's like, oh, I'm not a leftist anymore because I found other leftists annoying. Oh, I don't believe in this anymore because I found the people who believed in that annoying. Like, that's not a good reason to change your fucking politics. You don't base your politics off of like just the people around you. Your foundations to like your moral beliefs should not be decided by whether or not you like the people who believe in it. Right? If you believe in it, you should believe in it. And I understand it's easier to believe in things when you have friends and things who believe in them. But like, that's the thing, is that usually you are going to connect with and make friends who have a similar moral foundation to you. So if you are finding them all annoying and you hate everyone who shares supposedly your moral compass, I don't think you ever actually shared that moral compass in the first place. You were never truly a leftist if you find all leftists incredibly annoying because you never identified with them in the first place. I just think that it's like such a ridiculous thing to like, you know, being like, I moved away from the left because when Black Lives Matter started, everyone was blaming everyone for being racist, and I thought that that was stupid. It's like, okay, so were you targeted for that? Did you hate it and think it was stupid because you were being called racist? Because I was never once called racist because I've never done anything that would be considered racist. So like, clearly it means that you were doing something that was racist or considered like, right? Clearly you were doing something that was being perceived as being racist, intentional or not. And then if someone calls you out for that, you talk about it, you learn from it, you grow from it. It's all about educating yourself. You can't just be upset for being called out and being like, well, since you're calling me out on my bullshit, I'm just going to move away from you because I don't believe this anymore if it's going to impact me in any way. Like, that's not a good way to form your like moral foundation and your political beliefs. Oh, it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. But yeah, basically as decided today and as decided last time, like so many of these like ex-leftists, they base their beliefs off of not morals, really. They base it off of like what is most beneficial for them, and what's most beneficial to them is ignorance is bliss. It's being able to avoid the issues. It's being able to deny accountability. It's being able to manipulate the narrative. It's like being able to step away from people they find annoying. They base everything very selfishly. It's not about what's best for everyone else. It's about what is best for them or what feels good to them, which is not a good place to like base your political and moral beliefs. And I don't understand how you can switch up so drastically just because someone pissed you off one time. Anyway, this has been Why I Left the Left, episode 2. Always a good time. Let me know if you want me to do another one of these. I do find them some of the most frustrating genre of people, but also one of the most interesting genres of people. So if you would like to see another episode of this, please do let me know, leave a like, etc. Please also do not forget to subscribe if you aren't already. It is the best way to help me out and support the channel, and I would love to see you again. Also, don't forget to go check out my deep dives on the estranged mother who wrote a book, because I'm really enjoying releasing these at the moment, and I really do hope that you are enjoying them as well. All right, I'll see you in the next one. A huge thank you to my Kiwi Cat patrons: Rain Remaining, Mossy Moose, Noah, Bingo Bango Who Ate My Mango, Kiarum, Bug Loves Cats, Kaylee, Kojo, The Beebs, Tess, Alicia, Bree, Chastity, Beckett, Prismatic PT, Sushi Kawaii, Filled the Duck, River, Queen Glimmer, Ella, Mr. Noodle, Radsack, Knitting Menace, Chris, Ellie, Ikazel, and Alexis. I love and appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. Keep fighting. I love you. Mwah. When you close your eyes, you replace the dark